as well, Dave Dobbin, El Presidente of Mobilicity.
Where am I sitting?
All right, everyone. Thank you for coming out. I'm Howard, the Howard in HowardForums. And this is our first forum meet in 2011, and it's sponsored by Mobilicity, who have been very generous. They're picking up the tab on the meet, and you're also all going to get Mobilicity swag at the end of the event. And they've also, as Melmar said, they've lent us their CEO, Dave Dobbin. Let's give Mobilicity a hand. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to have a Q&A session. So as I'm sure a lot of you knew, there was a thread in the forum where you could ask Dave your questions. And I have some also for Dave, so we're going to do our best to run through some of them right now.
Oh, good God.
Okay, so before we start, let's get to know Dave a little better. So Dave, what was your...
Vodka.
That's all we got to know.
Sorry.
So what phone are you using right now?
Right now?
Yes.
Nexus S.
Oh.
Right now. But I change phones like once a week, right? So I get phones, the manufacturers want to sell us phones, and Tony, where's Tony? Could Tony put up his hand back there? Tony runs our handset group, and when Tony gets a new handset, he hands me the new handset. So about once a week I change this. I got this Friday. Before that, I was on a Vibrant, AWS Vibrant. I had a Nokia N8 before that. I didn't like the N8. It's got a big ugly camera on the back. It's really, it was bad. And when you reset it using the Nokia reset command, it deletes everything. Don't reset your phone with the star 567. Don't do that. But I change phones all the time. So Nexus S today, probably next week. I'm looking at a Glacier, HTC Glacier. So we'll see.
When can we pick up a Nexus S at a Mobilicity store? Or a Glacier, or an N8?
That's a great question. The handset lineup is, we spend a lot of time thinking about which handsets we'll carry, when we'll carry them. And there's a big debate in the shop about which handsets to bring in. So for example, and I'll ask you guys what you would do if you were us, is, the Nexus S is going to everybody. So we'll have it, it'll be AWS banded, Bell, Telus, Rogers will have it, everybody will have the phone. So nothing special about it, it'll be all over the place. As opposed to going to, an HTC and getting a custom phone, and building something special for us, a hero phone, so to speak, which we only have and it's exclusive to us. So there's a lot of debate on what we should do, and the debate goes, if you go with something like the Nexus S, you get lots of advertising support, everybody has it, people pick up the device, people see that Bell, they want the device, whereas if everybody has it, then there's nothing special about it. Whereas if we pick up something like the My Touch 4G, we could get it to ourselves, and nobody else would have it, and it would be something unique to us. So I don't know, I'm happy to take opinions from anybody. You can post them on the forum, you can tell me now, whatever you like. But wide brand of phones or hero phones? That's a question we debate every day. So the Nexus S, I think, will be available in March. I think it's coming in March. It'll be widely available. There's other smartphones coming. It'll be February, March will be in our lineup. There's a refresh coming. Does that answer your question? Oh, go ahead.
Any plans to carry an Android tablet, and can I buy two?
That's a great question. Stuart and I were down at T-Mobile the other day talking to their head handset guy, and we actually asked that same question. We asked, what's going on with tablets? What's going on? How are they selling? And the head handset strategy guy at T-Mobile said to us, it's great. They have a whole separate group devoted to tablets. It's completely separate from their handset group. They've got dedicated people looking at tablets, but nobody buys them. So it's interesting. That was an interesting observation for us. committing to a tablet is an expensive proposition. So we have not committed yet. We've talked about some, but nothing for sure. We'll probably be carrying the playbook when it comes out. We think that's a good one to carry. We've had great success with BlackBerry, so we really like the BlackBerry devices. So we're excited about the playbook. The Samsung stuff, it's a little big and thick. We're not sure yet, but there's lots changing. The thing about tablets, the price is going to drop radically over the next couple of years. So we'll see what happens.
So along with tablets comes sharing plans, family sort of plans,
yes.
Where you can, you can draw, you pay one price and you can use data on your device, on your phone or your tablet or other sort of data device. So is that something you're thinking about?
Well, we have a family plan today, so we already have a family plan. You buy any plan, you get 50% off, or $5 off. If you buy a data stick with any plan, you get 50% off. So we already have that, and we don't restrict tethering, things like that. So if you want to use an Android phone with a Wi-Fi hotspot, go ahead. I was in Vancouver the other day. I had this phone actually tethered over the weekend with my iPad connected. I was watching Netflix on my laptop, so go crazy.
Okay, so what was your first phone?
My first phone. I don't need the mic. Can you all hear me? Do I need the mic or can you hear me? Right?
Oh, we can hear
you. Can hear me? Mic. Okay. my first phone. Howard asked me what my first phone was. My first phone was a Motorola 8000. We called it the Seal Clubber. I didn't have the fancy gray one. I had the beige one, right, with the big antenna, and it was a great. Actually, that phone. I have a great story about that phone. I was in Calgary at the time. I used to be a telescaler, and I had the phone, and I was on McKnight Boulevard in Calgary. I was writing in my book. I was making a note, and I had to stop the car because the conversation got pretty intense, and you couldn't really cradle that bastard under your ear. You couldn't do that. It's kind of big. So I stopped the car, I was standing beside the car, I was writing in my book, and I wrote in my book, and I was in a hurry, and I closed the book, and I got back in the car, and I kept driving, and about 5 minutes later, I realized I had driven off with the phone on the roof of the car. And so I turned around, and why are you pointing a Rogers device at me? What the hell is wrong with you?
North that way.
Right, why are you pointing a Rogers device? Don't you know that logo gives me hives? What's wrong with you? So
see any bigger.
You see what I mean? Big and fat. But I drove off. Phone went off the top. I turned around. I drove back, and the phone was on the concrete on McKnight Boulevard in the center. Trucks were driving over it, and that phone was still working. Right? It was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. So now I imagine putting one of these on my car and driving 65. I don't know. What do you think, guys? Would it laugh? No, yeah. So it was an awesome phone. And my favorite phone ever, which your next one, my favorite phone ever was the Motorola StarTAC. Yes. Because when that came out, that was sexy. Now we introduced the Sidekick earlier this year. The StarTAC we're coming with later. So.
Nice. Okay, so since you've launched, what's been your biggest challenge so far?
Since we've launched, or since we started the company?
Well, I guess both.
Biggest challenge since we started the company was fundraising. Right, was raising funds. So when the licenses were won, I don't know if you take you back in financial time. The licenses were won when the markets were open, capital was flowing. There was lots of money everywhere. And then in September of 2008, the markets crashed and the bottom fell out. And then I took a job as president of Dave Wireless in November at the bottom, the pit of the financial meltdown, and we had to go out and raise money. And that was actually the single most difficult thing I think I've done in my career. It was really, really hard. You have to convince lenders to, banks to loan you money for a greenfield wireless startup in Canada, right? It was really, really a tough thing, but we did it. And I'm happy to say, if you look at the funds that have been raised, we've raised more money than any other Canadian new entrant, which is great. We've got more private capital than anybody else, which is fantastic, because the investors looked at our business plan, they looked at what we were doing, they looked at how we looked at the business and they looked at the management team. They thought we were strong, and that was a huge challenge, and we overcame that challenge. So that was since inception. The biggest challenge since launch was, I use a Tiger Woodsism. I know he's not popular these days, but you know, after the affair, plural, his game was really bad, and one reporter said to him, you know, what's wrong? And he said, I'm finding my swing. And the hard part for us when we launched was we had to find our swing. We had to find what worked and what was successful, and that was a big challenge through spring and summer. We finally found our swing in the fall. I'm sure a lot of you bought our service in the fall. You know, we finally figured out what would work, and we had a great fourth quarter. We had an absolutely fantastic fourth quarter. So that was a challenge. Going through this summer was a big challenge.
So have you reached your launch targets, and are you profitable yet?
Well, we're very happy with where we are. Are we profitable? No, there's no wireless company that's profitable after 9 months, right? I mean, we spent $243 million on spectrum. We spent hundreds of millions of dollars building cell towers. Every time somebody buys a phone, we pay commissions, we pay handset subsidies, we pay advertising dollars. It's an immense undertaking. That being said, things are going very well. We've got positive contribution margin happening. We're feeling great. We've got lots of money in the bank. We feel good about where we are.
So do you think consolidation is inevitable between the new entrants?
No, I don't. You know, a lot of people say that. We've said all along, and you'll see us quoted out there all over the place, that we think there's more than enough room in the Canadian marketplace for all of the new entrants, and we think there's more than enough market share available for people to be successful, if not thrive. You know, there's lots of buckets of customers out there that you can draw on. You know, the first is people without cell phones. Still today, 30% of Canadians don't have mobile telephones. You know, I mean, that's a staggering number. You know, of people that don't have phones. Anybody in the room not have a phone? He's got two in his hands. You know, when you look at a country like, you know, take Hong Kong, 150%, Sweden, 124%, Italy, 120% penetration, and Canada's at 70%. There's a lot of room to grow the market, and today, you know, we get a lot of customers come in, and 30% of our customers that we get are actually people that haven't had a cell phone before. So that's a great segment for us. You know, then you look at the other customer segments. You know, the big three wireless players in Canada have been, you know, abusing the Canadian consumer for 20 years. So there's a lot of consumers out there who are really dissatisfied with the service that they're receiving. You know, last year, J.D. Powers did a customer satisfaction survey on Canadian wireless, and only 20% of Canadian consumers would recommend their wireless provider to their friends and family, like 20%. Like that, like used car salesmen get better numbers than that. It's horrible. You know, if you look in the US, that number is more like 60, 65%. So, you know, there's an immense amount of consumers that are really unsatisfied with the big three wireless providers, and that's a great pool of customers for us. And then there's other things like landline substitution. You know, here's some interesting facts for you. Only 8% of Canadian homes have gotten rid of their landlines today. Right? Only 8%. If you look at the US today, that's 25%. Right? We are a global laggard in getting rid of landlines. If you look at a country like Norway, 90% of homes in Norway don't have hard telephone lines in them. Why is that? Well, Canada, sorry I'm talking, I get excited and passionate, I apologize. But Canada has a really unique environment compared to the rest of the world in that the big players, before last year, the big players all had huge monopoly landline bases that they had to protect. Now, if you look at other countries, there's always an independent wireless provider. Like in the US, there's two. There's Sprint and there's T-Mobile. So Sprint and T-Mobile provide a natural moderating effect on price. They provide a competitive effect on the incumbent players, right? So in Canada, you didn't have that. So, you know, that's why you wonder why you pay so much for your wireless service. It's because these monopolies we're milking you to protect their landline bases, right? It's a really horrible economic situation. So we think there's a great opportunity with landline replacement. There's lots of customers available, lots and lots and lots of customers available, right? Immense opportunity.
Okay, so what's your priority, increasing coverage density or launching in new cities?
Increasing coverage density. 2011 is the year of coverage density for us. It's a densification project that we've got on. We're not going to be adding any new markets in 2011, but we will be infilling massive amounts of towers. Yeah, after Calgary. Calgary's coming soon. But we spend a lot of time adding towers in Toronto, a lot of time adding towers in Ottawa, Edmonton, all of the markets to get the coverage more dense. We're only expanding coverage areas in a couple of places. We're expanding in Edmonton, St. Albert, Sherwood Park, the airport, those sorts of areas. We'll be expanding here in the Greater Toronto area, the western side of Mississauga. We're going to cover that. Yes, I'll accept applause for that. We're going to expand out that way. And then in Vancouver, we're going to be doing expansion into White Rock, Ladner, and those kinds of areas.
So where do you see coverage in 1 year and in 3 years?
What do you mean?
Like
I don't understand the question.
Like what are your plans for expansion in the next? Well, I guess for 2011 you said no new cities beside Calgary, but say in 3 years.
Flin Flon, Manitoba.
Yes. That is our Chief Operating Officer, Flin Flon, Manitoba. You know, the thing with this business is it's really a very, very expensive business, and it's really about positioning yourself in the market. So, you know, we get asked a lot of questions. You know, I saw one question on the forum about, you know, we position ourselves as a regional player, and can we continue to be a regional player? We're not a regional player. We are a national player. We're as much a national player as Rogers is. We're as much a national player as Bell is. We're as much a national player as Wind is. You know, our network, our phones. This phone will work in St. John's, Newfoundland. This phone will work in British Columbia and Victoria. This phone will work in Ituna, Saskatchewan, and Flin Flon, Manitoba. The only difference between us and the incumbents is the way we charge you for service. That's the only difference. So, you know, I don't look at expansion of coverage as much as I look at expansion of customer opportunity and where can we go to acquire new customers.
So for improving indoor coverage, have you considered using UMA or femtocells?
Yes.
When?
As soon as they make them in the AWS band.
I was thinking that too.
You know, every year I go to the 3GSM show. Every year we go to CTIA in Vegas, and every year I do the same thing. I go and I walk the show floor, and I go to every femtocell vendor, and I say to them, "Do you have a femtocell with AWS band?" And they all say, "Not yet." And so I'm waiting for one to say, "Yes, we do," and I'll say, "I'll take a pile." But they just don't make them in our band yet. The problem with Canada's a great country. Right? It's a beautiful, fantastic country. But when it comes to the global handset and equipment ecosystem, we are very, very small. We are very, very, very small. I mean, T-Mobile, the smallest carrier in the US, their minimum handset order is 2 million. That's their minimum order. 100,000 handset order at Rogers is a big order. That's a big order for Rogers. Okay, that's the scope of things. So, you know, when you look at femtocells, I mean, AT&T walks into a femtocell company and says, "We'll take 20 million," right? And you know, we can't do that, right? That's a massive investment. So we have to wait for a T-Mobile or, you know, an American Mobile or a Claro or somebody like that that's got more scale to get the device manufactured, and then we can purchase it. Nobody's done that yet.
Okay, so what about UMA? Because that's available on certain, like a lot of the BlackBerry. You can have that option on it. So have you explored putting that on the Mobilicity Blackberries?
Yes, we've talked about it, but when we look at our list of priorities of things to get done, it's pretty far down the list of priorities on things to get done. Calgary's right up on top of the list of priorities, things to get done. Making sure that we get the path built is a big priority for us. Making sure that we add features to the billing system like promo codes and things like that. Those are big priorities. The question that we have to ask ourselves when we look at every investment we make, and UMA costs a lot of money, when we look at those investments is it better to spend that $5 million? Is it better to spend that putting more towers into a high traffic area, or is it better to spend it putting in UMA, or is it better to spend it on marketing and advertising, or handset subsidies, or what's it better to spend it in? So we evaluate each of those decisions very, very carefully. So far in our growth cycle, UMA is not up there because we have to do things like get market recognition and advertise and sell as many customers as we possibly can at this point. So it's not the highest priority.
What are your...
Not the answer you wanted.
Well, no, man, UMA is not that popular. So.
Exactly.
So,
pardon?
Costs a lot of money. $15 at Rogers.
Yeah. And you got the thing you got to ask yourself about UMA is, everybody in this room, you could figure out how to configure it and make it run. My sister, not a hope. Yeah. Right? Like, not a hope she could get that configured. The average consumer, not a hope. It's complicated. It doesn't work right. It doesn't provide them with a good experience. So for us, it's about what can we put in to create a good customer experience and bring value into that customer's life, and that's how we prioritize things.
What do you think about roaming agreements with the other new entrants who are using AWS?
I decline to comment on roaming agreements because of the nature of the legal agreements I've been forced to sign.
Well played, sir.
I once in an interview used the name of our Canadian roaming partner, and 2 days later I got a letter saying if I ever use their name again, they'd cancel my roaming agreement and sue me for defamation. So they are the company that will be unnamed, and we don't talk about them.
Rogers.
I think it's on the back of their
Uncle Ted!
yeah.
So, what rules would you like to see in the 2012 Spectrum auction? What rules would you like to see, and will you be a player in the upcoming Spectrum auction?
That's a big question. I think that's a big question. So let's back up before I answer the question, and let's look at the environment in Canada, the spectrum environment in Canada, and what's happened. The simple fact of the matter is that the big wireless providers in Canada hoard spectrum. They buy spectrum, they don't use it, they buy it to keep new entrants out. For example, not one of the new entrants, like Rogers bought $1 billion, $1 billion, that's a B, folks. They bought $1 billion of AWS spectrum. They have not deployed a single megahertz of that spectrum. Not 1 meg of that spectrum. They buy it to keep it away, to keep Canadians from having competitive choice. And by the way, that should disgust you. But when the government creates these rules for the auctions, they walk a very, very fine line, because we have to maintain open markets, we have to maintain market discipline, and we don't want to overregulate the space. I submit to you that there have been many, many policy failures when it comes to the regulatory framework. So we believe there should be a return to the spectrum cap. So we think that no company with more than 80 megahertz of wireless spectrum should be allowed to bid in the auction. Because 80 megahertz is a lot. So for example, Rogers has, what is it, Stuart, 150 megahertz? 160 megahertz. That's twice the spectrum that Verizon has. Oh, but they need more. They need more.
Is that 12 times subscribers of Rogers?
What do you mean Verizon has 12 times the subscribers? I can't understand, you know? Come on, they need more. They need more. It's because, yeah, I know it's because, right? But you know, we think there should be a spectrum cap. The second thing we believe in the 700 auction is if you own 850 megahertz spectrum, you should not be allowed to bid in the auction. Or, if you want to bid in the auction, your 850 megahertz spectrum should go back up for auction, right? And go up, because they got it for free, folks, right? They didn't pay for the spectrum in the beginning. So if you're going to auction spectrum to new entrants, let's auction the spectrum you got for free in the first place. So we think that. And then last but not least, we think there should be a guaranteed set aside for new entrants into the business. If you get less than 10% market share, there should be new entrants. Now, it would depend on how foreign ownership restrictions roll out and what those foreign ownership restrictions, the order that you would apply these rules in, you know, and how the government comes down on foreign ownership restrictions, which will be your next question.
I have something maybe a little easy, a little less difficult. So
Well, that's an easy question.
Yeah. So why don't you offer unlock codes to customers?
Well, no. A lot of our phones come out of the box unlocked. So a TM506 was unlocked out of the box. The Nexus 1 unlocked out of the box. Sony Ericsson X10 unlocked out of the box. A lot of the phones we sell are unlocked. The reason we don't provide unlock codes to those that are SIM-locked is because we subsidize the phones. So even though you think you're paying full price on the phone, we're still subsidizing the cost of that phone. So therefore, we think we should be able to recover some of the value that we've put into that phone. If you really want to unlock, there's lots of great guys at Pacific Mall that unlock. There are lots of great people. They go in there and pay $20. Yeah, this guy down there, he'll unlock it for you. Right there. What's your name?
Brian.
Brian will unlock whatever you got. There you go. Right, give me a few months, okay?
When are you going to have SMS short codes?
As soon as we possibly can. You know, the issue there revolves around our SMSC, getting an SMS gateway installed and getting an aggregator to put it all together for us. So we are working on that. Actually, Stuart runs all of the systems. What do you think, Stuart?
Very, very soon. Literally, most top priorities. So it's one of the things we're actively working on. We're sorry it's not up yet, but it will.
We are very sorry. Actually, once a week I walk into the office and I say to Stuart, so when can I drink heavily and dial star taxi, Stuart? And Stuart says, soon. I say, not soon enough.
Last week.
When are you bringing back the friends and family plan?
Friends and Family Plan never went away. Friends and Family Plan is available to my friends and family, Sarah's friends and family, and Stuart's friends and family. It's available to friends and family of any Mobilicity employee. So there you go. As a matter of fact, who doesn't have our Friends and Family Plan in the room tonight? Put your hand up. Really up. You're my friend now.
Oh.
If you'd like it, you can talk to Mel. Send Mel a private message on the board, and we'll set you up with the Friends and Family Plan if your name is on the list tonight, and you'll go on my Friends and Family list. Now, that being said, you might not want the Friends and Family Plan tomorrow morning. Might be things better coming. You want to know?
Tell us that. We won't tell anyone.
You want to know? You want to know?
Well, okay, everybody, put your phone away.
Yeah, in this crowd, for sure. Absolutely. So tomorrow morning, actually tonight at 12:01 a.m., we're launching two promos. The first one, we're going to throw in free data and biz on our $45 plan. So you buy the $45 plan, free data and biz. We're also going to do that if you buy it in the 12-month multi-month package. So our 12-month multi-month package is $349. You pay $349, you'll get a year of unlimited North American calling, a year of unlimited global texting, a year of call forwarding, call waiting, three-way calling, voicemail, a year of unlimited data, and a year of BlackBerry service should you require it for $349. That works out to a monthly cost of $29.33. So that's available at 12:01 this morning. We think that's pretty smooth. I know. It's awesome. The only question now is how long till Wind tries to follow us?
What did you think of that?
What I think?
What did you think of that when we did that?
You know, it's flattering. It's flattering, right? It really is, because, you know, when we started, when we started the business, you know, way back when, no kidding, it was Stuart and I sitting across the desk looking at each other and saying, what do we do now, right? And everybody out there thought we were the underdog, right? Everybody out there figured we were the first to go out of business. Remember that? Mobilicity, the little guy, everybody out there, we were done, right? The global power of Erascom was going to crush Mobilicity like a bug, right? Our handset lineup wouldn't be even close, right? Well, you know what? Let's fast forward 2 years, right? Who's got a better handset lineup? We do, right? Who added more subscribers in the fourth quarter of 2010? We did, okay? Who's got more points of distribution? We do. Who's got more cash in the bank? We do, right? So you know what? I love it. We were the first to introduce $20 unlimited global or unlimited long distance plans. It had never been done in the Canadian industry before. We were the first to introduce that. It's great to be copied, right? We were the first to introduce a wallet concept. Nobody's copied that because their billing systems can't do it, but it's a great feature, right? We were the first to do the 30 and 40. And our promos that we introduced were different, right? And we were very, very particular on this because our promos didn't expire, right? Our promos didn't expire. So promos that our competitors gave, they lasted for 6 months and then they went away, right? We didn't think that was a good customer experience. We thought that was a bad customer experience. Because can you imagine you're paying $17.50 a month for 6 months and then the next month, bam, $85, right? That's like a cold shower after a party, right? That's no good, right? Our promos go on forever, right? Our promos, you buy it, it lasts till you die. So the fact that they changed their entire business model to match us, it's flattering. It's flattering. And you know what? I'm sure they'll continue to follow.
I'd have been mad, but that's just...
No, we're not mad. 2 years ago, would you have ever thought, that like the system access fee would go away? Would you have ever thought that? Right? I mean, nobody would have thought. Okay, it got replaced with the GERF. But whatever. But you know, I mean, nobody would have thought that. So the industry's changed, and the industry's going to continue to change, and that's all thanks to new entrants. You want to get exciting. You want to get really fun. Wait till Shaw enters, right? That's going to be awesome, right? That is going to be absolutely awesome. It's going to be a bloodbath in Alberta, right? Right? It's going to be great. Right now, I mean, right now the most competitive place in the country is Quebec, right? It's by hands down the most competitive place in the country, and Western Canada is going to get like that too, and it's awesome. You look at the value that a Shaw brings to the market. I mean, think about the market dynamic. Right? In Ontario, you all live here, right? You all live in Ontario, right? So, I mean, Rogers has the cable system, they have home phone, they have wireless, they got real value. Bell has home phone, you know, all this sort of thing. TELUS is the one without real value here. In the West, it's Rogers that has no real value. All Rogers brings to the table in the West is wireless. I mean, enter Shaw, and I mean, they've got quad, they have cable, they got. Anybody been to Winnipeg lately? Like I'm from Winnipeg, and Winnipeg, you should see the war that's going on in Winnipeg between MTS and Shaw. It is awesome, right? No, it is. MTS has 50% penetration of cable television in Winnipeg, right? 50% penetration. There's real cable TV competition in Winnipeg. You drive down Portage Avenue in Winnipeg, there's a billboard. I couldn't believe it. I phoned Sarah when I first saw it, and I said, you got to see this billboard. Free wireless plan with our cable TV. That's competition, right? That's competition. And it's going to happen right across the country. And I think it's great, because at the end of the day, it's about the Canadian consumer, right? And that is what the big three wireless companies have forgotten about, that this is about the consumer. right? I mean, Canadian wireless companies are making record profits, right? They've got record high EBITDA. Canadians are paying record high prices. I mean, it's just not cool. Right? It's just not cool. Competition is good. Right? Competition is really good. We love it. We think it's great.
So, if I was going to start a wireless company right now, what would you say to me?
If you were going to start a wireless company right now, what would I say to you?
Be scared.
Everything you think is going to happen is going to be different. Every plan you make, you're going to have to adjust, you're going to have to change. So be prepared to change every day. Be prepared for all of your assumptions to be wrong and be humble about it. Right? Be humble about it. Because I'll tell you, what we thought the business was going to be when we first wrote the business plan, it is not today what we thought it was going to be. It is not what we thought it was going to be. And you have to change. And that is one of the things when I look at our company and I look at our staff and our people, that is probably the thing I am most proud of, is that our people have been so adaptable and they've changed so much and they're so quick to change. They move, they change, they change the way they do things, they change processes, they morph what they're doing to the market condition and to what the customer wants. And that's absolutely fantastic. So that's what I'm most proud of. By the way, very proud of everybody on HowardForums because you guys are our technical testing department. So we really appreciate all that free testing service. It's great. It's fantastic. Keep it up. Right? It's really, really good. Yes, sir.
One question. Are you any plans of offering TV services through broadband?
No. No.
He asked if Mobilicity is thinking of offering TV service via broadband, and he said no. So now we're just going to open it up to the floor now. So, sorry.
Hang on. We have, for the best question tonight, we have a BlackBerry Bold 9780 for the best question tonight. See, my unlocked friend is like, I'll unlock that shit for you. He's right there, right? He's right there, all right? So, okay, let's go. You've asked one already. The fellow in the back in the red. You.
When are we getting 4G?
When are we getting 4G? What is 4G? Define it. I don't know, right?
T-Mobile's getting it.
Yeah, T-Mobile's got 4G. Well, hey, if T-Mobile's got 4G, we got 4G because we got the same gear they do. So, I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting to watch the banding and the spectrum banding, the technology deployments in the United States to see when it happens here. I expect that we will be a bit of a laggard on 4G, the same way we were laggards on 3G as a country. I expect we'll be laggards on 4G. I mean, 3G, I know we all think 3G came to Canada very recently. It didn't. Japan had 3G in 2001. The good people of Tanzania, a third world country, had 3G in 2004. We didn't get 3G till 2007. So I would expect that 4G will be delayed here, behind other countries. Good question.
You're waiting to bring the iPhone?
If we
never
pardon me?
Sorry.
You work at Apple?
I do actually.
Cool, we got an Apple guy. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying I don't think that there's enough market penetration for AWS for them to justify making a special version of the iPhone.
Videotron?
I don't know. And I don't know. I think
nobody knows. Really.
I think you're going to get to a point where I think Apple will make a pin-to-band chip iPhone. I think it will happen because Android is eating market share every day. Right? Every day. Today, Android sells many more phones than Apple does around the world. Every day, many more activations go on Android, and that's going to continue to grow. BlackBerry's not out of the woods yet. They had 2010 wasn't a great year for RIM, but 2011 is going to be awesome for RIM. It's going to be an awesome year, and the more RIM has success and the more Android has success, that's going to force BlackBerry to do some things differently than they have. Or Apple, yeah. Apple, sorry. Gentleman in the back in the gray, you, yes sir.
Hi. So right now you have HSPA plus.
Yes?
But then how about the gear? Like the modem right now is not supporting HSPA plus.
The gear.
Yeah. Like the modem you have from option.
Yes.
Option icon from
Yes.
here.
We have new data sticks
It's not
coming.
HSPA plus.
Yeah, we have new data sticks coming within the next couple of months. And they'll connect much better than the options. Right? Yes, sir. Pardon? Talk to Stuart. Okay, yes, sir.
So what's your stance on the CRTC, considering they were they ruled in favor of you with the whole foreign ownership thing, but at the same time we all know their back pockets are paid by the big three. So what is your formal opinion?
You think that. I mean, I get that from a lot of people that they think that the CRTC is a creature of the big three. The CRTC is not a creature of the big three. Conrad, the chairman of the CRTC, is actually he's a great man, and he's very impartial. He was a judge, and he is interpreting the Telecom Act as he sees the Telecom Act, and they actually do a reasonable job of doing that. Industry Canada interprets the Radiocom Act very, very well. So, I don't think the CRTC is going anywhere. I don't think Industry Canada is going anywhere. I think they both serve a function. I mean, people talk about Canada being overregulated. You should see regulation in the United States. Right? If you think we're overregulated, I mean, there's municipal telecom regulation in the United States. I mean, good God, can you imagine the city of Toronto regulating telecom? Right?
It might happen.
Like, good God, right? All this off. Right? Bike lanes on Jarvis. Fantastic. Tear down the Gardner. Great idea. Yes, sir. You. Yeah, there you go.
You said your promos are all for life.
Yeah.
Is that including just paying a year in advance, or is that going to be gone?
If you pay for a year in advance, you get a year in advance.
Well, I'm saying, but if you decide to do that,
we may withdraw the plan, right? But if you buy, I mean, let's say you bought our $40 friends and family offer over the Christmas holiday, we will not withdraw that plan. That plan will go on into booking, right? Unless you don't pay your bill. Right? If you don't pay your bill, you lose the plan. Right? You don't pay your bill, you lose the plan. And you know what? It's actually interesting. That's actually happened to quite a few people, right? Losing the plan that way. So I would strongly encourage you, if you do have one of these great rate plans we've got, it's easy to forget to pay your bill. Put yourself on pre-authorized credit. It's a really good idea. It's really easy, and it makes life a lot easier for you, right? And then you won't lose your bill. Yes, Mr. Unlock.
Don't worry, not about a couple of weeks ago, Rogers released an internal document to their employees of Rogers' opinion on their version of unlimited versus Mobilicity's version.
Wasn't that awesome?
So what do you think about that wonderful document that I was releasing to all of you wonderful people?
Manna from heaven, right? I mean, like, who in that marketing department got high and said, I got a great idea. Let's compare our 150-minute plan against Mobilicity's unlimited plan. This is great. We won't look stupid, right?
They even use your logos, right? Colors.
Yeah, it's awesome. I think it's absolutely awesome. I think what a great compliment. What an absolutely great compliment. I mean, it's unfortunate that the misinformation that they're spreading to their employees, because what happens when you communicate information like that down a chain? It's like a game of telephone, right? You say it once and it gets repeated again and again down the chain. I remember going to a chatter kiosk in the late summer, and actually in the Surrey Scottsdale Mall. I went in the store and I said, "Are you guys Rogers?" And the sales lady said to me, "Nope." And I said, "But you're owned by Rogers?" And she said, "Nope. We're a completely separate company." And I said, but hang on. The announcement to form Chatter was made by Rob Bruce, the president of Chatter, president of Rogers Wireless, and Rogers shareholders are the sole shareholders in Chatter, and Chatter uses the same network as Rogers, and the same billing system as Rogers, and the same customer service processes as Rogers. How can you tell me it's not Rogers? Nope. Not Rogers. Imagine if you're the poor consumer, right? Imagine if you guys are informed, you know what's going on. I mean, imagine the average Canadian consumer around out there, just the misinformation, right, that's being spread. I mean, it's absolutely staggering when you consider what's being said. I mean, even in that document that was released online, just the pure misinformation that was spread in that document is just staggering. I think it's great. I think it's fantastic because we post it in our stores, and you say, "Show this to consumers." Right? You know, show this to customers. You know,
Glad you like it.
right? It's great. Actually, you know what? When I'm with salespeople, what I train our salespeople to do when I talk to them is I say, make sure you tell the consumer when they say they want to shop around that when they go to one of the incumbent stores, they're going to get something we call fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Right? And here's what they're going to tell you, and then we list down what they're going to tell the Canadian consumer, and we're right every time. And you know, it's actually really effective for us. So we pick up a lot of customers that way. That's a great question. You're in front for the 97. Okay, somebody's got to take them out. Yes, ma'am. Dave. Speak up. I can't hear you. I'm a little hard to hear. You want to ask a customer-based question? Yes. Oh yeah, our plans, oh, they're way better.
Is there plans to establish a customer base that way?
Yes.
And then also, like another, my observation is like, do you have plans for like new immigrants when they come here? You know, they wouldn't know about the big three, so would you be targeting more to that type of?
We already target new Canadians in a big way. So as far as the question, will we be targeting business? Yes. We wanted to get through our first year, get established, get the customers under our belt before we branch into that. You're absolutely right. Our plans, off the shelf, blow anything available to the business consumer out of the water. It is staggering when you consider that the business consumer actually pays more than the residential consumer. It's looked at as a premium business when it's the same network, it's the same service, the same devices. I don't understand. So yes, we will be targeting it. Even more than that, our wallet feature that we have has been proving inside small businesses to be just a great positive selling feature. Let me explain that. A lot of small businesses, he's tweeting, oh my God, they're going after business. Brace yourself, churn's going up. What a lot of small businesses have trouble with is they buy their employees phones and their employees go over every month, and it's very, very difficult to track those overages. So, I mean, there are companies, I'm sure many of you work for small businesses, there are small businesses that actually have people on staff that do nothing but reconcile wireless bills and telecom bills all day. I mean, think about that. There's like a job out there checking bills, right? Like we actually, we have to have people check bills, right?
Software for that too, where you can import it.
Yeah, it's craziness, right? So take our plan with a small business. Okay, Mr. Small Business Owner, Mrs. Small Business Owner, come on in. Buy all of your employees' plans. Let's say you're a courier company in Toronto. Buy all of your employees our $25 plan. You get unlimited local calling, which is what the couriers need. Hey, buy them the $45 plan. They get unlimited data thrown in. Thank you very much. They got everything in, $45. If they want to call mom in Hong Kong, or if they want to download ringtones, or if they want to use, whatever, they can put money in their own wallet, right? All the employer has to spend is that $45 or the $35. They're capped at a flat fee, so the employer actually gets the ability to predict what their telecom bill is going to be. I think that's a great thing for business. So yes, we're going to be doing that. The challenge for us is that businesses tend to require different billing arrangements than we currently offer. Our model is a pay in advance model, as you know, so businesses tend to require a bit of a different model. They need bulk billing of many, many accounts on one thing. So we're working on making sure that works effectively. We're also adding BlackBerry Enterprise Server functionality very, very soon to the offering, so that we can actually provision it as services in the provisioning system. Does that answer your question? No, New Canadians. You want to know about New Canadians? We invented unlimited long distance to China. We invented unlimited long distance to India. We invented unlimited long distance to Hong Kong and Europe and many other countries. If that's not targeting New Canadians, I don't know what is.
Chinese name too.
Yeah, we have a Chinese name. I can't say it, but we have a Chinese name. Okay. Yes, sir. Plaid.
Do you feel that? That's all right. I'll be up. CWTA recently said about self-regulation. Do you feel
self-regulation is a horrible, awful failure?
It has been up to date.
Yeah.
Do you feel like your position and your voice against that decision will make a difference in the short term?
No.
That's upsetting.
Well, so what happened? The way that went down is we are on the CWTA board, and they were talking about this position on the Manitoba bill. They talked a lot about the Quebec thing, and we said at the board meeting, no, we don't like this at all. We think that consumers should be able to have the protection that Quebec has afforded them. We think that should be rolled out across the country. We believe in this strongly, like really, really strongly, that consumer choice is huge. So we would very much like the CWTA to take no position on this. And they took a vote, and they said that they were developing a consensus view. There was no consensus. Consensus is when you take everybody's opinion and you incorporate it in one document. There was no consensus. We then asked that they put an asterisk at the bottom of the report to say that Mobilicity does not agree with this position in their submission to Manitoba. They declined to do that. They told us they would not do that. So we said, if you don't do that, we will take matters into our own hands, because we believe very strongly that the Canadian consumer should be better protected than they are. And so they released their submission to the Manitoba government, and the same day we released our statement. And we strongly back what we said, and we think that Ontario, BC, Alberta, and every province in the country should pass similar consumer protection laws, because self-regulation hasn't worked. We've got the highest wireless prices in the developed world. We've got the lowest wireless penetration in the developed world. If you exit a contract in the United States, you pay less than half of what you pay in Canada. That's the United States. If you go to most European countries, good luck signing a telecom contract. Like, good luck signing a contract. We bought Ericsson equipment for our network, so I spent a lot of time in Sweden. And I would get off the plane in Stockholm, I would walk to 7-Eleven, and I would buy a Tele2 SIM. For 100 kroner, which is about $20, I would get 1,000 minutes. I'd slide the SIM into my phone, I'd use it for the week that I was there in Stockholm, and I'd come home. Good luck buying a contract out there. I mean, this is such a broken model. I mean, imagine it, think about this. Does Rogers give you a free television when they sell you cable TV? No. Why do they give you a free phone? It doesn't make any sense. Maybe it does the math of what that free phone costs over 3 years. I mean, there's nothing free about that thing. That's a $4,000 BlackBerry, right? And that's my wife was on Rogers, and yeah, no kidding. And we were on a plan called the $25 Mega Value Plan. 100 daytime minutes, unlimited evenings and weekends, 1,000 texts, and the system access fee.
What time for evenings?
I don't know. All I know is that bill was never less than $120. Right? Never once, never less than $120. Right? So I phoned to cancel it. Okay, now here's the surreal thing. Okay, we bought her original phone in 1998 when we first moved to Ontario. So I phone up and I say, I want to cancel. And they say, well, there's a $240 cancellation fee for your contract. And I say, hang on a second. My wife's using a Nokia circa 1998. What do you mean there's a contract cancellation fee? Oh, well, you know, she phoned in to add a long distance value add package 6 months ago, and it was a new 3-year contract. Right? Well, can you show me your signature on the 3-year contract? No. No. You make a change, right? I mean, it's more self-regulation. Joke. I feel kind of strongly.
Yeah.
Right? Yes, sir.
So you've been condemning contracts since you began this campaign to promote Mobilicity as unlimited. And I think it's going over well, but once you've been around for 2 or 3 years, there's going to be a lot of people who, right before you came into the market, are getting out of their, eternal 3-year contracts. So how do you guys plan on grabbing those millions of Canadians who are getting out of contracts before they re-sign into another contract?
There are 4 million Canadians come off contracts every year in Canada. Right? 4 million Canadians every year. They roll every year. Every month there's Canadians that come off contracts. So it's not a big lump. It's kind of a flow that comes along. So how do we plan on attracting them? Is value. Right? It's all about value. The Canadian consumer wants value. Right? People aren't dumb. Right? People aren't dumb. And they know value when they see it. I mean, who can deny that our plans are not rocket? Right? They're great plans. They offer unbelievable value. Right? Unbelievable value. I've yet to meet a consumer other than a long-haul truck driver that our plans aren't a better deal. I've yet to meet a consumer that our plans aren't a better deal. Right? And if anybody wants to debate me on that, I'm happy to. Right? I'm happy to. Right? Yes, sir.
I actually have a question about customer loyalty.
Yes.
The other day I was at a Virgin Mobile booth and we were comparing plans. I'm with Rogers. I have the $50 unlimited retentions plan. And I was speaking to the Virgin Mobile rep and I said, how much is this plan going to cost me at Virgin Mobile? The bottom line was $140.
It's a bad deal.
It is. So I said, well, I've been with Rogers for say 3-4 years now.
Sorry.
I mean,
First step is admitting you have a problem.
Their loyalty to me and vice versa is shown by what they offer me in terms of how they want to keep me as a customer. So how does say Mobilicity going to do that once you guys have a few more years of service under your belt? There's customers out there that have been with Rogers for 20 years and they want to switch to something else. How are you guys going to offer that same loyalty that they've received from say Ted for 20 years?
Value.
Yeah.
Value.
That and we have to, unlike all the other big 3 wireless carriers.
You can't resist.
Who sign you up and say goodbye, we'll see you in 3 years and good luck getting through the customer care and that's not sorry, good problem. We have to earn your business every single month. Every month is election time. We're like the politicians up for election every single month. Every month you can vote with your wallet and your feet. You can say, I'm done with you, Mobilicity. I'm going to win, I'm going to wherever I'm leaving. We have to earn your business every single month. Other than Wind and Public Mobile, the new entrants, no other carrier in Canada can say that. That is why. If we don't make you happy every month, you're going to leave. So we have to work every day to make someone like you happy. The big 3 don't care about you. They don't. They'll see you in 3 years. See you later, buddy. Take care. You're a dollar sign. They sold you the phone. They own you. They locked you in. That's the bottom line.
Oh, I didn't get applause.
I got rid of you.
Thunder Stealer.
I have passion.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but we're all dollar signs to a company. So how do you plan on making money? You've already shitted on the big 3 for their ways of gouging us.
Because our cost base is lower.
Okay.
So how do we make money? We just have a lower cost base. Our retail price per minute, if you take our average price per minute, our retail price per minute is lower than the incumbent's cost per minute. It's just it, right? So we've got technology advantage, we've got personnel advantage, we've got outsourcing advantage, we've got all sorts of advantages that allow our cost base to be lower, and that's how we make money.
So nails everything in. To put tangible, our head office is in Vaughan, in the same building as KFC, and across from IKEA. Okay? Rogers is at Bloor Street in Mount Pleasant.
Yeah, I sit.
Ellis is a big building next to Air Canada Center.
If you come
we
to
don't
our
have a store
office,
in Yorkdale Mall. We have a store around the corner from your house. We don't mail you paper bills and have a massive call center trying to explain to you, well, you know, you run the cable plan, now I'm going to switch to this rep. We don't do any of that stuff. We are a low-cost operation. If you add all that stuff up, including our 268 employees versus Rogers' 55 million, whatever employees they have, you will add up to a much lower cost per user than what the big three are.
But are people like me that look at that as you guys are too good to be true? Why are you doing this?
We are doing this because there are business models which occur elsewhere in the world, just not in Canada. There's a couple in the States, there's other in Europe as well. Sorry, Dave. And but there are business models out there that have not been replicated in this country because the big three have kept them out successfully so far, and they're aware of this. That are successful, just successful in a different way. So our way to be successful, obviously, you know, customers, as I mentioned before, customers can leave and come and go as they please. So our ability to make money is to get a lot more customers a lot more quickly and to keep our costs really, really low. So we'll never have, you know, the robust, you know, distribution network of a Rogers in the fancy malls. We'll never have, you know, a store in Yorkdale necessarily, or a store underneath Holt Renfrew like Wynn might have. We don't do that kind of stuff. So there's differences. So we have to be more selective in how we can approach you, but in return, we'll make our money back faster.
But are you making money, or are you just not spending it?
That's what I mean.
We don't do anything that doesn't make. On all these plans we offer, including the Friends and Family plan, we do make money.
Every single plan
we introduce
returns contribution margin.
Otherwise, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah, we would not. We don't offer anything that doesn't provide contribution.
But about 45 minutes ago, you were saying after 9 months, no carrier is really turning a profit.
Because you got a huge capital investment.
Right.
Right? You know how much money it takes to build one of these things?
But that's what I mean. You guys got to start gouging people somewhere. No, it's a business.
Wow. When are you ever cynical? When
do you get desperate? At what point do you get desperate and you say, we're not making back this money fast enough?
No, we're doing great. Right? We're doing fantastic. We had a great fourth quarter. We're making money on every plan that we've got out there. We're turning profit. The investment's being paid back. Things are good. Right? I mean, we need to maintain discipline on our costs. We need to maintain discipline on retaining subscribers. As long as we do that, we'll be just fine.
It just shows how much margin there is in on all the entrance, the big three's plans.
Canadian wireless companies, with the bloated infrastructure that they have, make the highest margins in the world.
It's insane.
Right? Yes, sir. Is that pink or white?
Pink.
Ah, you look good.
Thank you. Well, I just want to say, Dave, thank you for being a pioneer. I mean, before this, me and my wife, we just have a Fido prepaid.
Yes.
Because it's too expensive.
Yes.
I heard about the plan. My friend told me it was October 31st.
Yes.
Last day was like that Friends and Family
Yes.
promotion. I jumped in.
Yes.
There was a lineup like mad in
Yes.
Center Point Mall.
Yeah.
I just want to thank you very much because of this. Like, I mean, because of your plan. I mean, I'm closer to my family now because like you have a limited distance to the United States. And I can have like a peaceful shopping experience with my daughter. I just gave her this with YouTube here. Unlimited mobile internet. Have a nice
And you know what?
Thank you.
That is how we make money.
No, well, that's what I mean. Like, you do it to be just a good dude. You seem like a nice guy, but you generally...
I seem like a nice guy. What are you trying to say, man?
You run a phone company. We don't take anyone at face value at this point because, like you said, the big three.
And that's our biggest problem. That is our biggest problem in the business, is consumers don't trust us.
Yeah, because I've been getting raped for 9 years.
You would not believe this. Like, so what you guys don't know is I actually go to the stores and I sell, right? And by the way, I've probably talked to some of you guys because once a month I go to the call center, I put on a headset and I actually answer phone calls.
Oh, yeah,
I do, right? But when you go to the store, it is a surreal experience selling in one of our stores because you say to the customer, yeah, you know, we give you unlimited calling to North America, and they say, during what hours? And we say, no, there's no hours. It's unlimited. You get on the phone and talk. And they say, but you can't do that. And we say, yes, we can, right? And they say, but how do you do that? This doesn't matter, Mr. Customer. We do it, right? And we give you unlimited data. Well, what do you mean unlimited? Is that like unlimited web browsing? No, it's unlimited data. Like, you want a VPN or whatever you want to do? Like, go ahead, right? Whatever. Well, how many gigs do I get? I don't know.
But it's like what you were saying earlier, like 20% of Canadians would refer their
Yeah,
wireless
absolutely.
carrier to other people.
Right.
We're used to just bending over and taking it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So when we say you seem like a nice guy,
Dude, we gotta hire these guys.
when
Like evangelists.
When you say that you seem like a nice guy, we always remember you run a phone company. At one point, like
so do you use Vaseline basically?
Cheryl, we're getting really personal. My friends have asked me what lubricant I use.
That's the best way to put it.
I really honestly don't know how to answer that.
Well, like, I just look at it like I've been with Rogers for 9 years. When I change, is the person that I'm changing to at least going to
Are you on Mobilicity?
No.
You're not. Are you on Rogers?
I just said, like, I admit it, 9 years.
Why don't you, why don't you do this? Why don't you buy one of our phones and buy a plan and try it? Right? Now, here's the difference between us and the other guys. Let's say you want to come and buy, what kind of phone do you have now?
Touch Pro 2.
Okay, so let's say you want something similar. Let's buy the Xperia X10. Okay, great phone by the way. I love that phone. Form factor's great. Got a wicked camera in it, right? So you buy the X10. You own it. Try us out for a month. If you don't like us, take the X10, go back to Rogers. Okay, you own the phone. There you go. So here's the deal: $45 a month. You'll get unlimited data, unlimited North American calling, all that sort of stuff. If you don't like us, leave it. That's the model, right? We have a moment of truth with the customer, right? My friend, thank you very much. Every month we have a moment of truth with you. And if we don't make him happy every single month, he leaves, right? He can go anytime. And that's the beauty of the model. So we have to make him happy all the time.
Does that scare you at any point?
No. 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 It's a great opportunity. Right? Yes, sir.
I know. You used to work for TELUS, right?
No, I was a TELUS dealer.
You're a TELUS dealer.
Yeah, there's actually, I've never been employed by Bell, TELUS, or Rogers.
Okay.
Or any of their subsidiaries.
Okay. That wasn't where I was going with that.
Did work for Hybrid.
When you were a TELUS,
Yes.
did you, I guess for lack of a better term, drink the Kool-Aid that the misinformation that they, like when you went to Mobilicity or Dave Wireless as it was at the time, were your eyes suddenly open like, oh
No.
my God?
No.
So you were like a HowardForums subscriber?
No, it's actually an interesting story. I was at Toronto Hydro Telecom, so I built the Wi-Fi network in downtown Toronto, and we were actually lobbying for the Spectrum auction and for the change of rules before even the public consultation happened. So, I was out there. You'll see my submissions online with my signature before there was even an auction process. At the same time, John Bitto and Stu were lobbying at Dave Wireless for the same thing. So it's an interesting story. But no, it was interesting. It's funny, when I was being interviewed for my job, John said to me, so what kind of business would you roll out? I kind of reeled off the business plan we had. We do this. It was the same business plan. It was the same business plan. You guys are going to like Monopoly. You, sir, with the glasses.
Yeah.
I got laser surgery. You should get it.
So when do you plan on distributing to Future Shop or Best Buy, get more distribution out there?
Get more distribution. Sir, I submit to you we have an immense amount of distribution today. We have 784 stores across the country that are selling our products. There's an immense amount of distribution. You're going to see more distribution coming. I don't know if we'll be in Best Buy Future Shop. We would love to be, but we are going into places like HMV. We're into places like we're in 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven is not a big deal in Eastern Canada, but if you go to the West, they're everywhere. Right? If you go to Vancouver, there's a 7-Eleven on every second corner, and that's a great opportunity for us because the unlimited Go Grab and Go product is on the shelf right beside Speak Out Wireless, and it's just a better deal than Speak Out Wireless. So it's a great opportunity for us. You'll see more innovative distribution from us. So, and I think as we get larger and as we get more and more exposure in the market, more market share, you'll see some of the larger retailers say, "Hey, these guys should be here." You, sir. Last question. So far, unlocked dudes winning the phone. You gotta take them out.
So it's gotta be good.
You gotta be a really good question.
Okay.
I'm wondering
Or
if
no
you guys
hassle.
have your own internal talking points memo for people who come into a Mobilicity store wanting to use their iPhone on your network. Because here, there's a great selection of handsets, which are all really cool, but on the subway ride up here, pretty much half the car was taken out with iPhone users.
Yeah, absolutely. No, well, of course, salespeople are trained in that. Of course, they're trained on how to sell against the iPhone, how to sell against different products. So yeah, there are training points that we use for that. You know, we are very fond of Android. We really like the Android operating system. If you haven't used the Android operating system, I encourage you to do so. It is an exceptional experience using the Android operating system. And I think as time goes on, it'll just continue to get larger. It'll just continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger, right? And you know, we back that open sort of environment, so that's big for us. Apple's a very closed environment.
I have an Nexus One, like a lot. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
As a matter of fact, a follow-up question.
My wife has a Nexus One now. She loves it.
Tony is the guy who does your handset procurement?
Put your hand up, Tony. Everybody does handset procurement. Tony does handset procurement. So
Can I
Tony and Christina's the brains of the handset operation. Andrew does all the testing of handsets. Smartest guy in the room. Right? Andrew does all the testing. Right? Yes, sir?
I was gonna give Tony my drink ticket, my other one, but I guess I have to buy them all here now. So
Yeah,
I think your handsets are awesome.
Yeah, you know what? And that's one thing that we are very, very proud of. Is remember way back when we were going to have the worst handset selection and everything. Of all the new entrants out there, our handset selection is awesome. Right? It's the best of any of the new entrants. Right? It really, really is. And it's going to continue to be that way. We will not be beat on handsets. Period. We won't be beat. Right? That's the motto around the shop. Right? It's it's a point of personal pride for Tony and Christina to not be beat. Right? So how'd you like that Mobi flip? Wasn't that great? No, that's
Can I ask
awesome.
a small question?
Follow up.
Part 3 question.
Yes.
So on the Mobi flip, there's
Yes.
actually a sound when you start it up.
Yeah.
There's like a little Mobilicity jingle.
Yeah.
What's the story behind that? Is that like something of the Danger OS that there needs to be a... Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, yeah, I do. No, that's actually the same sound that comes at the end of our radio commercials. So if you listen, it's our little Sonic logo. So if you power up that phone, if you power up an LG Wink, Tony's got a Wink back there. If you power up the Wink, you get that sound at the end. So it's our Sonic brand, right? It's our Sonic brand. Can I ask one more question, Cheryl? One more. The gentleman in the back. Yes, sir.
Actually, earlier when Howard asked you about one of the biggest challenges
Yes.
you guys have, now, it's actually I submitted to the friend asking you about that.
Yes.
Very good, so I got my answer. But would you worry, like in the future, like if you worry about the investors may not feel comfortable, they say, hey, you guys have to make real money, and we want to get more out of it. So will we be worried like some investor may not be, say, okay, well, we are not going to invest more. Then you have to find new investments and bring other guys like to have more capital.
Well, the plan we've got in place, we've funded. So we're okay. So we feel pretty good about that. If we do want to expand, to answer Howard's question, if we do decide that St. Catharines is a market that we need to launch, we will have to go and prove that that's a positive return for us, and we'll have to go to our shareholders and our investors and ask for more money to do that. So it's all about providing positive return that provides the investor with the returns they're looking for. But our investors are very happy.
But what about the potential next round of spectrum auction?
Yes, that's a bridge I'll cross when I get to it. Right? I haven't got that far yet. Right, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Last question. This is it. Last
Do you have
question.
any plans to expand to Montreal?
No, we have no spectrum holdings in Montreal.
What about the next auction?
Potentially. We'll see what happens. Depends on the rules are. Depends on the rules are. But no, we do not plan at this point to expand to Montreal. No, that's it. Thank you very much. I said last question 4 times. Thanks for coming. I think there's still some more wings and stuff. And there's more beer. Best question, I think, I'm sorry, my friend, the iPhone question wins the day here. So, yeah, you get the 9 seconds. That was a great question. No, it was good. No, the Vaseline question does not win. So,
We're on the site.
So now, the handset bar is open, so if you want to go and spend time with Tony and Christine and Andrew and ask them questions about what's coming and hassle them about what we've got, feel free. They're back there. We've also got Stuart, our Chief Operating Officer, is here if you'd like to talk about operational issues. Sarah, our Vice President of Marketing, Sarah Moore, is here if you'd like to ask marketing-related questions. She's more than happy to answer any questions you might have. And I think the bar is still open. So it is still open. And Howard has something to show. Here's Howard.
Oh, I'd just like to thank Dave. I hope you all had it's an enlightening experience. It's very rare that you can get a CEO to come out and speak to us.
So tell all your friends to buy Mobilicity.
There you go.
So I'd like to give Dave a HowardForums t-shirt. Oh, it's my phone.
Your size.
Oh yeah, this is a. But anyways, we have different sizes.
What are you trying to say, Howard?
And it has the logo for the upcoming HowardForums app.
There you go.
You get the first Mobilicity swag. It's a Mobilicity briefcase for your laptop.
There's also a Mobilicity t-shirt.
Oh, look at this. I didn't even know that. Awesome. Hey, I think we're giving all of you t-shirts tonight, and I think we've got more swag back here that Cheryl and Melissa will give away, and Jessica. So there's gifts for everybody tonight. So there you go.
One per person.
One per person.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
It's not every day you get to ask a CEO which Vaseline he uses. Which personal lubricant.
How often do you get to ask a CEO then?
How do you? Oh, you know I know.